Unicole Unicron Friends unite. Business frequency, aliens in sight. Turn up the volume and settle in. Your mind will be blown. Let's begin.
Welcome to Unicole Unicron and Friends. Today, I am so excited to welcome Keegan Brady to the show. He has a sun in Gemini, moon in Libra, and a Scorpio rising, which means that he's bringing a unique blend of curiosity, harmony, and depth to everything that he does. He has shared with me some of his companies that he has started, and he's got a water company called Aqua Harmonica and also another company called Inanna Healing. We met at the Conscious Life Expo, and Keegan's work sits at the intersection of science, spirit, frequency, and I cannot wait to dive into this journey and the wisdom that he has to share. Welcome, Keegan.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. And thank you for that introduction.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than those things that I shared, like, is there like how did you come into this world of, spiritual tech and frequency and healing and all of that?
Yeah. Okay. So, I have what I would kind of be considered like a kind of a chaotic entrance into all of this. So, for me personally, I have 11 years free from active addiction, and I was working in drug and alcohol and mental health rehabilitation. And I was case manager for intensive outpatients, as well as detox centers and, stabilization clinics and things of that nature. And honestly, I was getting really sick and tired of another diagnosis, another medication, another label to attach to. And we weren't getting down to really causes and conditions. We weren't getting down to the innate seed of suffering, if you will. And everybody in my observation was just another number, another client, and another diagnosis. And it was hurting my soul. So I started to seek, and I had a pretty extensive meditative practice already over the years, and it had just gotten more and more powerful and deeper, and I'm just getting more and more sensitive. And about 6 years ago, I was getting deep into my meditative practices. And as I had mentioned before, I was at a certain point in my life very involved in 12-step communities, Alcoholics Anonymous mostly. And about 6 years ago, my sponsor, who was like a father to me, he passed away. And it was due to some intense circumstances around, he got double knee surgery and got on medication, painkillers again. And then he ended up overdosing on them and passing away. And that really affected me in such a profound way that it pushed me even deeper into myself. And I was seeking freedom. I was seeking release, and I didn't want it to be in the form of narcotics. And I didn't want to escape, but I wanted to understand. So that sent me on this path of finding other ways, other modalities of essentially exploring different states of consciousness. And for me, the most profound and biggest impact has been breath work. Different pranayama exercises, different exercises of moving the breath and understanding how the breath can affect different parts of the body, and how the breath can be innately extremely psychedelic. And that sent me on this journey of deep meditation, started receiving some really big messages or downloads or insights, whatever, you want to call them, into the direction of my life and getting clearer and like a deeper purpose. And I started fasting, and I actually went raw vegan for a period of time, and I started doing long fasts from like weeks at a time, and my body started changing very drastically. I started changing very drastically, and I had what would be considered, I guess, a Kundalini rising experience. I think we have, several of them in a way, because the levels of energy, spiritual energy, it just changes. And the more that we can embody higher dimensional frequency, the more that it will come through, I guess, but it comes through in different ways. Anyways, that being said, what I'm getting at is I had a very extreme awakening or whatever, a rise into awareness where I was in a fasted state for about 2 weeks. And I went and stayed in the mountains and started praying and chanting to certain guides and deities that were in alignment for me and helping me build the bridge now that I understand back to my higher self. And they came and helped awaken me, and my body started moving in very profound ways. My spine started cracking, and I started channeling. I started speaking different languages. I started channeling animal spirits and seeing geometries, and it was very intense and very profound, and so intense, in fact, that the people around me in my life, they were concerned, and they were concerned to the point that they thought that I was using methamphetamine again, and that I was in psychosis. Now, looking back, I was to a degree in some spiritual psychosis, because I now understand that, that was an experience gifted to me to help learn how to ground through these intense energies, how to be more present in the body, how to move through these things in a more grounded and present way. At the same time, if this experience didn't come about in almost like the chaotic and slap in the face kind of way, I wouldn't have paid attention. I wouldn't have had such conviction to move forward into what brought me into exploring, deep seeking into, where have we come from, looking into ancient civilizations, looking in inward, and just sitting with myself in silence and in fasted states, and information just coming and just knowing. And really, that's just brought me to this place today of embodiment and understanding that at the end of the day, we are the technology, we are the medicine. It's just remembering that and bringing that reverberation, that frequency back into the vessel, and learning how to really embody that, integrate that, and choose consciously, to consciously choose what it is that we are consuming, what it is that we are embodying, what it is that we are experiencing. And that's where the spiritual technology companies, Inanna Healing, and that's the big parent company. And Inanna Healing, Inanna essentially is our placeholder or moniker, or tip in our hat to one of the archetypal energies of the divine feminine. And my brother and I, my co-founder, my blood brother and I, we started Inanna Healing as a way to honor this feminine energy in totality. And we feel that it is our purpose here, one of our purposes here, to create a structure, a chalice, if you will, to hold this energy, to support this energy for ourselves and for the people in our lives, for the women in our lives, for the children in our lives. And Inanna Healing is a portal for that. And essentially, it's about coming back to nature while also utilizing the technology that is becoming more apparent and more present today, and also approaching the technology from a place of deep intentionality, of being conscientious of how we're using this technology, and where are we coming from, and what is our motivation, and what is our end intention. And that's what we kind of hope to teach, is really just to empower people. All the products that we offer are just different ways for people to remember, because everything is, in my world, is a different form of consciousness. Personally, in the reality that I operate in, I don't believe in artificial intelligence. I just believe in different levels of intelligence, different structures, and everything is alive if we can stop to learn the language and we can understand. And for me, I'm realizing more and more, the only way we can do that is coming from a place of non-judgment, openness, and through the heart. And like, that's what I'm helping to kind of shine the light on, is heart-centered co-creation, and how to interface and interact with many forms of technology from the natural world, from the natural elements, and blending that in with what might be considered inorganic, but in my world, it's like I'm here helping crystallize the organic template and timeline, which is where we can merge with technology in the way that we can have a cohesive relationship and co-create from there. But it's like helping kind of bridge this gap and understanding that a bracelet that we wear or a spray that we put on our body or water that we drink is advanced forms of technology that can carry information, that can carry consciousness, that can carry activation, that can carry remembrance. And there's just different ways of interacting with that. And I really just hope to help people, inspire people to create from this place, to set a precedence, to create from a place of intentionality of where are we sourcing the material, who's working with the material, how's it being grown, or how's it being crafted or curated, to the ritual aspect, incorporating prayer, energy work, geometry, numerology, to using actual hardware technology like Rife, Scalar, things of this nature that can actually imprint and infuse onto matter like metals, water, things of that nature. And I have figured out a way to blend these together. It's like baking a spiritual cake, if you will.
Healing doesn't have to be complicated. Dolphin Technology designs wearable frequency devices that work with your body's natural energy to restore balance, clarity, and vitality. Built with crystals, magnets, and resonance circuits, our pendants are the future of wellness. Feel the difference at dolphintechnology.org.
Yeah, I would love. Do you have any kind of questions that kind of go deeper into that? I feel like there's a lot.
Oh my mind. You are blowing my mind. So there's a lot there that you spoke about, and it's so beautiful. I mean, it's so aligned with everything that I'm doing, which I'm sure you're aware of already. And the beauty of the similarity of our paths of starting in a super dark place, right? And I was never a user of methamphetamines, but my parents were both addicts. So I was also like in that demonic realm of insanity and had to climb my way out of it. And so I like just super props, super respect for all the levels that you have ascended. As far as like speaking to someone who may be in active addiction, like it's like the journey that you took is so vast and so wide, and there were so many steps. What advice would you give to someone who just cannot even comprehend doing breath work, cannot even comprehend fasting, doesn't know the first thing about channeling entities, like thinks that's, wild? How would you reach someone in that state?
I would just try to be their friend. Like that's what I was looking for, was connection and understanding. Like that's what we're looking for, and looking somebody in the eyes, giving them a hug. Like that is tech. That's medicine, and really sometimes that's all it takes. Like honestly, what I strive for is to embody to a place of being, to where we can just be and we don't have to say or do anything. Just our presence is currency and can help people shift just by being present.
Do you identify as a starseed?
I would definitely, yes, I have remembrances of being, different stars, coming from different star families and of that nature and such. Yes.
Who do you resonate with?
I resonate with the Pleiades and Sirius, but for me, on a very, very, very deep level, who I resonate the most with is the Lyrans.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I also have a question about your journey and your process of going from addiction, and like the 12-step program. I did it as well, and I really found it to be very useful. It's a really good framework. It's not perfect, nothing is, but I just think it's such a great container for that process. As far as moving towards spirituality, what drew you in that direction? You said you had another diagnosis. Nothing was getting to the heart of the pain that you were feeling in your soul. Like, how did you find yourself moving in the direction of like consciousness and spirit?
Well, I feel like ever since I was a little kid, I was always drawn to certain like mystical ways of thinking and being and moving through my life. And at a really young age, I got really into astrology, and I got so into it, like, it's just funny. I've had a pattern of like mania, not so much anymore. I feel like I'm very grounded and present and able to, like, because I understand more so of my inner workings and how to navigate, my reality more consciously. But I always had this call, like the call of my spirit, the call of the heart. I could feel this pull, this draw. And I just started listening to that more. And like anything could be meditative. So I was a bodybuilder for a long time. I was heavily involved in the gym. It was also an escape for me, but it was also very meditative, and there was I found release in moving my body in a certain way. And there's information there to be acquired, just like different asanas, different yoga positions. And then, I started practicing martial arts, moving my body in different geometric patterns and shapes from Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong. And that started awakening me. That started affecting me. I've always been very sensitive. I feel like that's why I turned to drugs and alcohol to self-medicate, and I'm also so grateful because consuming those things and working with the forces that come through those different substances prepared me for what I do today. It stretched me in a way. And I work with people one-on-one where they're, that doesn't freak me out at all. I've worked with people actively going through stuff. And they've, people just find me and, do energy work. We do hands-on work. We do intense work, psychedelic work without plant medicine. And I also have a private ministry where I'm legally and federally allowed to work with and carry plant medicine as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, we have a lot in common then.
Yeah, it makes sense,
Yeah, and I think like what you said, I think one of the beautiful things about going from the hardest place to like just the most expanded possible place in every moment, expanded, grounded, whatever you want to call it, is that ability to hold that space for other people. I had someone tell me like, you're the first time most people experience unconditional love. Like when someone comes into your field, that's the first time they've ever seen that. And it's like, it's just so profound, and people don't know how to react, and they don't even know how to, show up in that space because they were never given it. And the reason why I'm able to offer it, and why it sounds like you're able to offer that space, is because you've been there. You've seen that. You don't have that judgment. We're working from this non-dualistic understanding of just show up how you are, just show up who you are, just show up in this moment, and we're going to figure it out. Like the suffering has a solution. Like we can get to the bottom of it and hold it. Really is what, like you said, people need, just that hug and that deep gaze in their eyes, and like that space to be held of like, I see you, I understand you, it's okay. Like you're okay to be who you are. And I've got a 2-year-old. I know you're a parent too, and he's in the stage of like doing what's bad and then looking at me, and I get to check myself. And it's like, I think sometimes even addiction is just that process of like, can someone look at me? Can someone acknowledge that what I'm doing is like chaotic, or like I'm pushing against the boundaries? Can someone show me through that process,
Yes, absolutely. That's so funny. That actually reminds me of something my dad would say to me as I was growing up. He'd be like, stop drawing attention to yourself in a negative way. And it took me probably 20 plus years to understand what that meant.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that's what you needed, right? Like that was the mechanism that you were working through. And it's all valid. I love the quote, addiction is a real attempt to solve a real problem. And it's just it's just so much more than what we demonize it to be in society,
Absolutely.
It's a spiritual affliction.
Big time.
let's talk about your amazing, incredible water company that I'm a little jealous of because me and my friends have spoken at length about about something similar. I love what you have done here, and I wish I could show everyone this. But you sent me a couple of these charged waters. We've got 528 hertz, which, if I'm not mistaken, is like the frequency of DNA. And it's, I told you when you sent it to me, I actually got nervous because I'm a complete and utter water snob. And I will not drink on anything that is not unfluoridated or unchlorinated. If I have to drink tap water, I will be thirsty. I will be thirsty for days if I am left with only tap water. So I was a little nervous. And then I saw on the back, we've got filtered to absolute purity, chilled, vortexed, oxygenated, and recharged with electrolyte salts, which is, based on my snobby opinion, everything that needs to be done to water. And then you also infused it with frequency, which is beyond even what I can imagine. The only thing that I think could be added to this is crystals.
Well, cool. Yeah. I hear, absolutely. I resonate with that. So I would love to get into this, and then hopefully I have a feeling you'll be able to understand a lot of what I'll talk about around the water. So
I'm so excited. Like, I'm sad. Let us hear it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm stoked that you're a water snob. So that's good. That means
it's so important. I mean, it is. I mean,
I won't drink tap water either. So
no, I'm very sensitive, right? And it's like it hurts me to drink bad water. I'm like, I can't, like, I just can't even be near it. And it's this idea of frequency and how water holds memory. It's like we are constantly infusing water with our cells. Like, how can you not want the most purest, best quality water? And then I'm just so always dreaming of this reality where we could swim in the rivers and drink them. Like that's how it used to be. You could the rain, you could drink the rivers, you could, it's like the water was all pure and good for us. And that's just not the case anymore. So let me hear it. Let's hear it. How did you get into water? What's your thinking around this? How do you process it?
This is so cool. I'm so stoked to have this conversation. So, okay, first, where the water was birthed essentially was, I had a studio that was guided to open up about 5 years ago. Well, maybe even around 6 years ago now, something like that. And I was working, like I said, I was working in the drug and alcohol and mental health industry. And my heart was hurting. And in meditation one day, I was visited by one of my guides, and they said like a certain number pattern to me. And they're like, it's all above you. And I'm like, what does that even, what? So I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he's like, hey, that there's a office upstairs that's open. And he's like, I think that number is what it is every month. And so I went upstairs and I looked at it, and it was huge. It was a big office where like I could host breath work. I could do my own thing. I could have my own practice. And so I did it. And in that space is where I started experimenting and was guided to, I've experimented with a lot of things. So the water was birthed through experimentation with Rife technology and later scalar technology, and then the infusion of both. And then on top of that, I've also figured out a way to interlay sacred geometry, numerology, different numerical codings, light, sound, all of these things, energy work just in totality, all of these things be infused into the practice of radionics. So radionics is working with frequency, Rife technology, scalar technology. And in fact, at the end of the day, you really just need a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil.
And you know what? You said that to me at the Conscious Life Expo, and it sent me down this whole path, and I invented a whole pendant that's based on those principles. So it's just so powerful. Like, you think, wow, I'm just saying this word. You say it to the right person, you never know what might happen. So yeah, the whole situation of shapes radiating information is something that I'm deeply passionate about ever since I talked to you about it.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so rad. That's so cool. Okay. Love it. Yeah, we all
It's
create these
real.
like little pieces for each other,
We do
Could just be
architect.
whatever.
It's a
Yeah.
and we're here just awakening each other and building on each other. It's like it's not one person, it's all of us. So
Yep.
like you said, all you need is a piece of paper and a pencil. You can create energy change through that.
Yeah. Yeah. With our intention, like, and there's so much there. There's, sigil work and all these other things that are infused into everything that I create as well. And then everything that I create starts from a meditative place, creating it, in the higher dimensional realms, in the astral realm, whatever, depending on what I'm making, it's in different places with different energy. But again, everything that I create is from the heart. So I go into the heart before I do anything else. And I have a little method, a couple of breaths that I do that with, where I connect to Mother Earth, I connect to the heavens, the Father Sky, and then I bring all that into the heart space. And then I co-create from there. And I say co-creation because the heart space is a unified field of consciousness. It's not just a single mind. It's not our single logos. We're co-creating from more of a collective from within the heart. And okay, so to the water, to get to the point, I started realizing that different things carry reverberation, carry structure, carry cymatic, shape. And water is extremely impressionable and carries memory and is alive. And so water is extremely fun to work with when it comes to Rife technology and radionic technology. And I started... What's that?
I'm nodding vigorously. Go on.
Yeah. Love it. And I started experimenting with the water first and foremost, just to see if it had an effect on me. And then, I'm in my office in this little room that I've set up with all these different tensor rings and crystals, and I'm using all kinds of different things, herbs, and then figuring out that you can actually take all of that information and digitize it, and you could create files on your computer that hold information. I mean, this can go deep. This is so, and I help teach people all this stuff too, but I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole. But the water was having a profound effect on me. So I would have people come to my studio and have breathwork ceremonies, and it would be a full magic ceremony. I was practicing high magic as well, and everybody would get involved, and we would drink the water together ceremoniously as a sacrament. And all at the same time, I'm like, all right, everybody, this is an experiment, we're along for the ride. And that everybody's having psychedelic ethnogenic experiences, drinking the water, and people are like, are you sure there's not LSD or mushrooms in here? It's just the power of the breath, of intention, and the water is so powerful.
Yeah.
And so I was offering the water from these ceremonial spaces for years. And then about a year and a half ago, we were directed through a turn of events to go and open, have a store location in Laguna Beach. And that at that time where I was received the information, it was like, okay, I think the collective is ready to actually drink this as an offering, not just in ceremonial spaces. And the presentation, the packaging, how we've even become present is all because of my brother. My brother brings this bridge and this ability to I see these things in my mind, and he can materialize them here to be seen,
What a gift. What a blessing.
It's incredible. It's seriously, it's I'm like, how did you, that was in my mind, it's so crazy.
Well, there's that sibling telepathy too, you guys are probably sharing the information. You probably don't even have to speak it all to him, right? And he's able to
absolutely
design
he's
the
able
other
to just,
stuff.
yeah, and pull it. And he's like, because I've been in my caves doing my thing. And he's like, how are you going to get this out there? And I'm like, I don't know, just playing with amber bottles and stuff. So back to the water though. Today, that has increased the efficacy and the integrity of the water, because now today we are operating out of a warehouse. And the whole thing too is with everything that we're doing, this is open source. So there's no hiding. We have no secrets. We want people to be able to please try to create what I create. And I mean that from a place of loving, not I'm better than you, but there's no better than,
Yeah.
but please try to create what we've done, because the world needs it. We're only one group of people over here. So the water goes through a 3-stage filtration process. Then it goes through UV light. After that, we vortex and remineralize. Well, the water is remineralized and then it's vortex. So we remineralize the water a little bit past what you would get, like a little bit bolder than what you would get in a natural spring. After that, the remineralization is really important too, because like that is where the water can start to carry on a different geometry and the matrices can hold for a longer period of time. Now, this is the main ingredient that I work with in everything that I do. Plasma. Plasma is in every living thing. It's in our blood. It's in the plants. It's in the ocean. It's everywhere. We have plant-based plasma that we infuse into the water while we are charging it. So
What
the charging
does that
process.
mean, plant-based plasma?
So it's zinc.
Okay.
It's zinc. Mm-hmm.
Can you
So
link that up for me in my mind? How those are connected?
So, okay, what do you, so the plasma comes from a zinc derivative that comes directly from plants. The zinc is then through electrolysis, similar to how you would make like a colloidal silver or colloidal gold.
Mhm.
It is ran through in a series of frequency that this takes about 2 or 3 weeks to make a batch of it. So it's run through low frequency while it's being vortexed in a container of water. And through time, the plasma takes on its form.
Amazing.
It's a little bit more detailed than that.
Yeah, I can
And-
imagine. I'm just starting to wrap my head around like the plasma reality. So very helpful introduction there.
Plasma, I've worked with plasma for about 5 years, and plasma is able to be in a gas state, in a liquid state, in a semi-solid state, more like a gel kind of state. And plasma can be taken orally. It can be rubbed on your body. You can have a visceral reaction from it. It's in all of our sprays and our oil. It's in everything that we do. Coupled, there's a very small amount, but you don't need a lot. And the plasma is what truly allows, coupled with the remineralization, truly allows the charge to stay, while also incorporating on like, you know, a quantum level, the ritualistic process of creating the water, charging the water while it's being spun, plasma is being infused. Rife technology is directly infusing 528 hertz into the water, while at the same time it is sitting in a scalar field. And inside the warehouse, it's happening on a much larger scale. But and this is something that I always wanted, is we wanted to continue to increase the integrity and the efficacy if we were going to go bigger and bigger. So that's where we're at right now. And we're able to do like 200 gallons at a time, roughly. And we're in the stages of actually getting all of the sparkling aspect figured out, sparkling 528 hertz water. And the sparkling is unreal because there's like little bubbles of 528s bursting in the mouth. It's just, and the reason that it's 520 hertz, we could do any frequency, but that's what I've been directed to work with because it helps heal the DNA on the metaphysical level. It can activate our DNA and just empower and reignite our gifts, our sovereign right, you know?
It's so beautiful. It's so incredible. When you're running the Rife and the Scalar,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I do that at my own house, I can get sick. Like I can get a headache. It can be too much, like especially if I'm running them overnight. Like, do you ever feel sensitive as you're doing that process? Because I'm just so sensitive, you know, and sometimes I crank my machines all the way up. So
yeah, no, I've been doing this I've been working with these technologies for about 6 years. And in the beginning, when I first started, see, this is also why, like, just recently I received the message. I'm like, okay, the collective can start drinking the water.
right.
Because like I couldn't even drink like more than 250 milliliters of the 528 water that I made at home without bouncing off the walls and getting sick. And like the information I kept receiving is because like you have sickness in the body and you need to be careful with like incorporating high frequency into the body when the body's
the contrast
ready. You got to titrate, you know?
Yeah. That makes total sense. And And I do think the frequency is like increasing on a planetary level. I think the sun has a lot to do with it. The process
Absolutely.
of like attenuating your energy to that frequency is, I mean, and you wouldn't think like, oh, this purified vortex water could make you sick, right? Like that's the opposite of what you would think, but it's just drawing out all those impurities and you're having to process them.
It's like a hermetic effect, really. Like it's a little bit of suffering but it's because it's detoxing you.
Yeah. As far as the scalar for me, I have one machine that blows my mind. I call it my cosmic DJ set. And I genuinely feel like it brings me into a toroidal field that's outside of time. Have you had any weird time experiences working with scalar?
Absolutely. And I actually make devices and systems as well for other companies. That's a big part of what we do as well. Is something that we're creating is part of it. What Inanna is doing is we have Charged by Inanna. It's on all of our products, and we're also working with other companies like Olive Oil Company, another company that does EMF stickers and cases for your phone. And what we do is we create these systems and these networks customized for each individual company and the needs, and like where passive charging, direct charging, other elements are infused, but we make all of these systems ourselves. And like we incorporate organic, natural, like from the sourcing of all the crystals, the metals, everything that I use. And then again, there's plasma in all of our tech as well. But yes, you got to titrate. Now with scalar energy, it depends. If you're just having, if the field is emitting in a low frequency, it could be fine. You could run it and have it going in your home all the time. Now, if you're really working with a scalar system that can incorporate the choosing of frequencies, or it has certain frequencies that you can play with that are higher, then that's different, but you always, like for me, I always want to listen to my body. But I mean, I live in an environment with rings all over the place, tensor rings all over the place. That, that's scalar tech in itself.
You're vibing.
Yeah. I'm wearing it all over my body. I mean, I make a bunch, we make a lot, everything we do pretty much we make in-house. And like, that's the other thing too. And if not, then we're working with collaborating with other people that are doing this from a heart-centered place, to help empower people, to help serve the community. It's our offerings to the world,
It's so important, and it's absolutely the future. It's what I've seen as my own visionary side of things. I think we all have the remembrance encoded in our...
This podcast brought to you by Unicole. Feeling out of place? Maybe it's because you're not from here. Unicole is the home for starseeds, seekers, and dreamers. Come find your family, your purpose, and your power. Join Unicole.com. We're waiting for you.
Bodies, like you mentioned, we are supposed to be swimming in the rivers and drinking the water. We are supposed to be able to take a breath and feel the prana activating every cell. We are supposed to be sharing hugs that heal each other. And for us to get back there, we need visionaries like you to lead the way. And like it's so funny because like starting my own technology company and being in this frequency space, I feel like there's such a huge gap. Like people say, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's a technology company. And then I try to tell them about it and they get kind of like this look on their face, like either I'm dumb or you're crazy. Like they can't, like the average person has no landing ground for it. And I'm like, okay, that's not my audience. There's a whole group of people who are doing sound baths, who are doing yoga, who are understanding these things, who are ready to drink water that is magical, right? Who are ready to enter into these ceremonial spaces and bring that remembrance back to the intentionality of every moment, of every action. And what's funny is like we're working within capitalism, right? So it's like here's a product that will bring you back to this remembrance of like community, and it's almost like a cosmic joke, right? Like it's just the process that we're a part of, and it's the place where we're at in time. And I actually find it quite, I don't know if quaint's the right word, but almost like titillating. Like I get kind of excited like to have one foot in the world and one foot in the new world. And how does that mix happen? And how do we raise the vibration from this point into the next level for humanity? So it's just really exciting. I love the tangible good side of it. I love this bottle of water that I have sitting here. And also, I could only drink a half of it at once as well. And I was like, that's enough for me. And I gave half a bottle to someone else. And I was like, and they were really excited. They loved it. So if I could go to the store and I could buy this, I would be buying it. I would.
Yeah. So we're working
all my money.
We're laying the foundation. We're mostly in Orange County, but we're getting everything. Everything is coming together just as it should. There's a divine timing to all of it. And
absolutely. And like you said, like it's got to be when people are ready, because who knows what would happen if you gave it too early. It's all got to be divine timing. And I wanted to ask, like, I think for me and my friends, like we have had certain water ideas, and I have a friend who does flower essences, and I had this vision of like, okay, how do we get all these things together? And just starting a drink company is a whole thing. You need a warehouse, you need a process. So it's huge props to you for being able to pull it off. And then of course Death Water came on the market, and it just I think it just sent all of the spiritual people into this like spiral, like we need better drinks.
Yeah.
We need the opposite drink on the market.
What's written on the bottle, that's sigil work, that's geometry. It's like it's
liquid death. Yeah, it's what it's called.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I cannot believe people drink it. I can't believe I can't believe it's popular.
But I can at the same time, because it's put in front of us,
It is. But it's so funny. It's like I would almost even rather drink like it was something really bad.
Yeah, I hear it.
I would drink tap water before I drank liquid death. Because I think the intentionality is real.
And see, like that's what we hope to help awaken. Numbers and symbols are being used to create consumption, and we want to give the power back to the people, to where like the space can be made where there's space to be like, oh wait, I am choosing to consume this consciously instead of out of patterning and programming.
Yeah.
Because like that's symbolism is everywhere. It's in everything.
I have this music video, and it's like the song is like, it's like symbols all around you, and it's just like this person turning left and right, and there's just like people coming out of the walls, and it's like it's really how it feels, just the symbolism like all around us, and it's all interacting with our subconscious and our psyche and influencing who we think we are, what we think we want, how we think we should show up. And that's your life. That's your life energy. Like it's literally being robbed of us because people don't understand the power of symbols and the power of shapes and the power of numbers. All of my pricing is angel numbers, and I love what you said, like that gives people pause, like, oh, this is an unusual pricing for an object, $11.11, let's say, and it makes them stop, and either they say, oh, that's cute, or they say, what does that mean? I've had people get really like almost upset, like, why did you price it that way?
Yeah, because that like, and like that's the other thing too, that I'm like, we're not here to be everybody's friend. I would like to be cool with everybody, but I realize I'm not here. Like some people, I'm here to ruffle their feathers and freak them out. That's okay. I'm not doing it like directly, intentionally, but that's also cognitive dissonance, like people will fight tooth and nail to protect the prison that they're in. It's like, I call it the Agent Smith effect,
Yeah. It's scary to think like, I mean, the reason why we put ourselves in prison is because we think that's the safe choice. Right. So when someone's walking around free, that's threatening to what we think is our safety. And people get angry and people get triggered. But honestly, it's always a blessing to be triggered. And that's why I walk around triggering people all the time, not on purpose.
That's what I'm saying, not on purpose. Yeah, it's just what happens. I don't set out intentionally to do it,
I kind of do, but only in like playful ways.
Yeah, that's different. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. That's different.
Just like calling my religion a cult and things like that, and it's like, it's meant to trigger you, but it's meant to trigger you into deeper thought. It's meant to get you to be like, wait, what's going on? Like, please, everyone, think, like, what's going on? Look around you.
Yep.
So how can someone work with you, drink your water, do your breath work? What are your offerings? How can we interact with you or follow you? What should we look forward to? All of that.
Yeah. So actually, this podcast is like pretty much kicking us off into the next chapter for everything that I'm doing. And what I mean by that is we have gathered enough information, and, like you said earlier, we're in an emerging market. We're in a time where things are shifting, and we're educating people right now. And so that's what we're going to be doing more of and leaning more into. So we're going to be having more hybrid offerings, more online offerings coming out, more like podcasts, more workshops that will be available online. We also have a location in Laguna Beach on Pacific Coast Highway in South Laguna. It's in between Diamond Street and Pearl Street.
What is it called if people want to look that up?
Inanna's Oasis.
Great.
Yeah, Inanna's Oasis. It's 1848 South Coast Highway, and also Heart Space Sanctuary, my private ministry. We operate out of that building as well. Currently, every Tuesday night, I host breathwork and sound. I do all the music live, singing and chanting, playing handpan, flute, all kinds of instruments. It's a really fun time. It's very tribal. I like to bring like the Lumarian. That's something that I'm very connected to. I feel like we're going back as we're going forward. So that's what I'm consciously choosing to embody, is more of the heart-centered time of Mua, where, at least in my remembrance, we're all heart connected, heart living. We could see, think, and feel each other, but we have our sovereignty. There isn't it's like it's just harmony. It's harmony. We all have our place and our purpose, but it's just natural and it's harmonious. And that's what I feel we're moving back to. That's what I'm choosing, at least. And that being said, we offer many different events as far as my music and everything goes. More of that will be coming out online. There'll be more live hybrid events coming out soon as well, as we kind of get all the tech together and figure out how to get everything out to the world. Because also being in Laguna Beach, is lovely as it is there, we've also learned as well that, like you were saying, like, we got to get in front of the right people, and we want to make an impact, and we want to support everybody. And there's a bigger impact. We can be better and more refined if we can get what we have out to the right people. And I've had so much resistance to social media and being online. And like, I've watched you over the years. I've watched you for several years.
Amazing.
Oh, my brother says he saw you the Area 51 documentary.
Awesome.
But no, I've been watching you for years, and you've been very inspirational and motivating. And I'm like, now it's like, okay, Keegan, now it's time to get out and stop hiding in your caves, because I love to hide in my caves.
Oh, me too. That's why I'm on the internet.
So thank you. Like, I got to get out there and do this. And like, this was when like, a part of me is kind of like, not that I put people on pedestals, but like, a part of me was like, oh wow, like, so stoked, and almost kind of like geek nerdy, where I'm like, oh my God, Unicole Unicron, I'm gonna talk to her today. It's crazy.
I'm blushing a little. No, it's exciting. Like, I mean, we met at, I was so excited to see your booth at the Conscious Life Expo, and like, I mean, everything we're doing is on the same vibe, like, we are incarnated here, holding down like the two different puzzle pieces of very similar problems. And I mean, I have connections to the lion beings through Orion, and like the technology and the, ministry. And it's just amazing, and it's like, how can you deny when it's like the soul family situation is so clear? We're here with specific purpose. We say, I'm from space. I have remembrances from space and I'm here for a specific purpose. And here's how we do it. And then someone else says the exact same thing. And, we're all getting together and we're all saying the exact same thing. It's like, okay, this is inevitably the future. Like, we're not just needing another diagnosis, right? We're needing community. We're needing to get together. We're needing to listen to the visionaries who are making the tangible products and holding the frequencies for our enlightenment and our empowerment as people. So it's such an honor to make this connection and to have you on this podcast. And I'm 100% excited. And I know that social media is a black box of illusions and it's totally ridiculous, start to finish, but there is power there. You can reach people. And especially when we're working in this particular way, where our vibrations may not be received in the regional locations that we're anchored in,
Yep.
So very, very exciting. I'll have to take a drive down and come see you guys sometime. And then, hopefully this is just the start of some future collaborations between us and we can just mind map and share our ideas and continue creating.
I would love that. And just throwing this out there, I have family in San Luis Obispo and also the co-founder of Heart Space Sanctuary. She lives like 45 minutes to an hour away from San Luis Obispo, and we do events up that way too.
Amazing.
So
we'll run through one way or another. Please let me know.
Cool.
In town.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this is just the beginning, and it really is refreshing to hear like what you were just saying, like, oh, wait, this is a truth that I have and came to my own conclusion on my own. And now somebody else is sharing that same truth. It's refreshing because it's been a journey to get here.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work.
I mean, even just I think the doubt, I've always been really listening to my intuition. And, I had my suicide attempt situation, which got me on my journey, got me on my path, my unapologetic path, right? Where you hit that rock bottom, you say, okay, well, if I keep going in that direction, I will be no more. So I'm going to go in the direction I want to go and that I trust in. So that was my gift and that was my blessing to open up the path to listen to my intuition and follow it. But I can't say that's been easy. I mean, I've listened to this guiding light and everyone around me has tried to humiliate me for it. All of the comments I got online, like when I blew up in 2020 on TikTok, all of the comments were like, you need to be in a psych ward, you need to be medicated, right? And I'm like, I know this isn't the truth. I know that none of these people know what I know, and I'm going to keep holding on to that intuition. So when you say it hasn't been easy, no one else understands or believes in anything that we're talking about, at least for the last 20 years beyond, like when you anchor yourself in your own inner knowing, no one else is going to know what you're talking about. And I heard someone say, you brought up psychosis earlier. I heard someone say the only difference between psychosis and being psychic is the need to prove it. And I thought that was so interesting. Like, wow, it's just this process of like the great silence, right? Like this internal knowing, like I know what I know. And it doesn't matter if the whole world is against me or the whole world thinks a certain way. Like I'm happy, I'm healthy. All of my metrics that I need to know that I'm okay and that I'm all right are met. So what does that mean? How can I stand up and go on this journey? And it sounds like you've done the same. And that's why we're able to be on the cutting edge. That's why we are in the emerging markets. That's why we are going to be the first people to offer things like frequency devices that are pendants and, ionized water, because we've done that work of sitting and going against everyone else, everything else, and listening to our own internal compass, which is leading us to this place of just a beautiful future. So I just want to give you props for that. And also anyone who's listening, just if you're standing true to yourself, like keep going, because it's not easy. And yes, people will think you're crazy. And yes, people will fall away and your whole life will change in ways that you will not be prepared for. But also that's the beauty of it, because then that's how you enter into this new reality.
Yes.
Just so inspiring. Yeah, it's so inspiring to chat with you. And I'm so excited for what you're building. And very, very, very excited about the water. I think there's a lot to do there. I have a friend, Kuan Yin, who's wants to build a water temple. And I've, asked my guides to be the financial backer for that. I'm like, you give me the money and I'll pay for the water temple because we need temples.
Wow.
So I think, everybody has, like you said, these pieces. We're all working together. And if anyone listening wants to give me multi-millions to build the most amazing water temple in the desert, you can do that.
Yeah, I would love to be a part of that project.
Yeah, we will. You're obviously part of it. Like you're not.
Let's go.
Like, you're already part of it.
Yes, please. I'm in.
Can you imagine what it would do to the frequency of Earth if we built a water temple?
Yeah, I see it in my consciousness, and like definitely, like, wow, yes, that's a big yes. Yeah, bringing Mua back,
Atlantis, Mua, Lemuria,
Yeah,
all the Pleiadian stars aligning, everything can come into focus with that, and the whales.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
All right, Keegan. Well, thank you so much. And how can people follow you online? Do you have any accounts yet?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you can find me. My personal is BabaKeegs, BabaKeegs. That's for Instagram. Inanna Healing is our Inanna Healing Instagram, and then Aqua Harmonia. But you can go to any one of those and it'll link you to the rest of them. I also have my private ministry that's linked on my personal account. So really just going to my personal account would be the easiest. And we have many amazing things coming out, some workshops. And I'm just stoked. I'm stoked to be here and to be able to have these kinds of conversations. This has been very nourishing for me and empowering. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Keegan.